My sister-in-law has copied every milestone I celebrate. She hijacked my engagement party to announce her own, until I asked her fiancé one question, and he walked out. That's the night her game ended and my family finally saw the truth. Where did he propose? I set it into a backyard full of fairy lights and raised phones. Cameras were already pointed at her. People love a headline. Kelsey froze for half a second. Her ring caught the light like a tiny sun. Tyler blinked. He looked like a nice man who had just realized he was on stage for a play he didn't audition for. We talked about it, he said. The patio went quiet. Forks stopped. Ice cracked in somebody's glass. Even the playlist seemed to turn itself down. Paint it for us, I said, calm and clear. Like you painted mine. Kelsey laughed. But it came late and brittle. Last night. Sunset. It was. You were at my dress fitting last night, I said. Not loud. Not cruel. Just true. Tyler's face changed. Fog lifting off water. He looked at her ring, then at me, then at the path out of the yard. I need to think, he said. He set his glass down like it might break the grass and walked past the gifts, past the hydrangeas, past the story she tried to steal. That was the end of the night. Here's how it started. I'm Ava. For years, my sister-in-law, Kelsey, copied my life like it was homework, and I was the only student with the answer key. New job? She posted a career glow-up. I ran a 10K? She became a runner. I cut my hair? She showed up with the same cut, and called it a twin moment. Close enough to deny, far enough to hurt. Then I got engaged to Noah, and copying turned into hijacking. The day I showed my ring, she hugged me long enough for everyone to get their photos. Do you have a date yet? No? Perfect. I might have news soon too. The smile didn't reach her eyes. Patterns rarely do. Venue booked? I chose a brick and string lights place that felt like warm bread. The next morning she DM'd me a selfie. Just toured this venue in love. Palette chosen? I went sage and ivory. She uploaded a mood board in the exact tones and captioned it, my vibe. When I mailed save the dates, she started a mysterious countdown on Instagram. Big news soon. It wasn't romance. It was a race for the loudest announcement. Noah saw it. She isn't chasing love, he said. She's chasing your moment. He's steady like that. Not dramatic. Just accurate. I wanted peace, so I went quiet. Quiet is where people measure how far they can push. Our engagement party was supposed to be simple. Backyard. Hydrangeas in full bloom. My grandmother's lace runner down the center table. 3 rules. My dad toasts first, then Noah, then me. No surprises. No speeches from anyone wearing white. My mother did lamplight the way only mothers do, soft, golden, forgiving. My dad practiced his toast out loud in the kitchen and pretended he wasn't crying. Noah kissed the back of my neck while I checked place cards. The air smelled like lemon cake in summer. Kelsey texted that morning. What time again? And what flowers did you end up with? Asking for inspo. I typed nothing. I've learned silence can be a boundary, if you hold it long enough. She arrived late. She arrived to be seen. White dress. Not ivory. Not cream. White. A bouquet in her hand that matched mine stem for stem. On her wrist. The exact bracelet I'd told her I might wear to my shower. She said, twins. Like she'd invented the word. Noah's fingers found mine under the table. Breathe, he whispered. Let tonight be about us. I nodded, and swallowed that hard little stone fear puts in your throat. Guests mingled. Phone cameras clicked. My cousin Riley side-eyed the white dress and mouthed, seriously? My aunt complimented Kelsey's bouquet and then apologized to me with her eyes. Families know things even when they don't say them. My dad tapped his glass. His voice shook one sentence, then steadied. He told the story about how I used to organize tiny dog parades for the neighbors and charge admission in stickers. People laughed. He said I'd always made my own sunshine. He said Noah felt like home. He said, to my girl, and sat down quickly before his face betrayed him. Noah went next. He doesn't perform. He talks like he's handing you a warm cup you asked for. He thanked both families. He joked that I can't cook rice to save my life. He said loving me felt like looking up and realizing the weather had changed for good. When he looked at me, the noise fell away like somebody shut a door on the world. I stood for my thank you. That was the plan. Dad, Noah, me. Then cake. Then dancing. Kelsey stood too. Before Ava talks, she said, voice bigger than the speakers, I have a quick announcement. Phones went up like sunflowers. The ground tilted under my feet. I felt my face go still in the way you do when you know anything you let out will break everything. I didn't want to steal attention, she said. Stealing all of it. But I can't hold it in. She lifted her left hand. The ring was big, bright, and new to all of us. I'm engaged. Gasps. A few squeals. People love a plot twist. Even when it lands on someone else's life. Next to her, Tyler. He's the kind of handsome that doesn't know it's handsome. Quiet. He waved like a substitute teacher. Small and apologetic. He looked surprised. Like he came for a backyard dinner and found a press conference. Kelsey launched into a speech about fate, sunsets, how love runs in families. She said last night, like she wanted it written on a cake. Heat climbed my neck. All the times I'd been polite burned at once. Noah's hand tightened on mine. He was asking me, with a squeeze, to let it go. But I'd let it go before. Waiting had taught her she could. Here's the truth about moments like this. You don't have to shout. You don't have to fight. Sometimes all you need is one clear line. Where did he propose? I asked. Heads turned like I'd pulled a string through the room. The music softened itself. The hydrangeas leaned into the night air. Kelsey froze long enough for the glitter to stop moving on the ring. Tyler blinked 3 times like a person coming back into his body. We talked about it, he said. Careful. Honest. Paint it for us, I said. And I meant it. Like you painted mine. She laughed. But it wasn't a laugh you trust. Last night, sunset. It was. You were at my dress fitting last night, I said. Remember? A few people looked at their shoes. Someone's bracelet clinked against a glass. My mother's mouth pressed into a worried line. Tyler looked at me. Then at her. Then at his own feet. Like they were telling him something he had ignored. He set his glass down with a care that sounded like a decision. I need to think, he said. Not angry. Not dramatic. Just done. He nodded to me, soft. I'm sorry for stepping on your night. Then he walked out. Not fast. Not slow. Just steady. The sound that filled the yard wasn't shock. It was relief. It was a room exhaling a truth it had held too long. Kelsey stared at me. Chest moving fast. Ring trembling. For one flicker, I saw the girl under the performance. Someone who learned attention meant love. And never unlearned it. It didn't excuse anything. But it explained the hunger. You sabotaged me, she whispered. No, I said. I asked a question. She left in a slipstream of perfume and white fabric. A few people followed. The way people always do when a fire alarm goes off. The rest stayed. Because loyalty is quieter than drama and stronger. My dad lifted his glass again, his voice steady like a porch light. To Ava and Noah, he said. To a love that doesn't need a spotlight to be real. The cheer that rose felt like a promise kept. The music came back like a friend who waited outside until the shouting stopped. Noah kissed my temple. You were brave, he said. I was done, I answered. There's a difference. After midnight, I found the bouquet she brought. It was beautiful because it was mine, copied. I took one white ranunculus and put it by our bed. Not a trophy. A reminder. I don't have to defend my life if I let the truth speak out loud. In the morning, my phone buzzed. Apologies from people who'd clapped at the wrong time. Quiet thank yous from relatives who'd felt bulldozed by Kelsey for years but never named it. One text from Tyler. Thank you. No one ever asks me what I want. That was the end of a night. But it was also the start of everything that came next. Would you have stayed quiet to keep the peace? Or asked the one question? She hijacked my engagement party, and I ended it with one question. But that night only made sense because of everything that led up to it. The copying. The small cuts. The family who pretended not to see. I didn't start out suspicious of Kelsey. I started out generous. When I got my first promotion, she manifested one the next week, and posted a caption that sounded like mine with the noun swapped. When I dyed my hair warm brown, she showed up with the same tone and said, twinning. Then she copied my charity 5K sign-up, and accidentally stood next to me at the starting line in the same color top. It was little things. 1,000 paper cuts. You don't bleed at first. You just get tired. Then I met Noah. Things were calm for a while because there was nothing to mirror. I was happy. She was happy for me. We double dated twice. She flirted with the waiter both times. It felt like noise, not threat. The ring changed everything. The night we got engaged, I called my parents, my best friend, and yes, Kelsey. She screamed so loud I pulled the phone away. I am so happy for you. I have the craziest news too. She didn't. But she needed to say she did. That was the first red flag I folded into a swan and put on a shelf. We set the date. I picked a venue with brick, beams, and string lights, a place that felt like our living room stretched taller. I sent Kelsey a picture because that's what a future sister-in-law does when she wants connection, not competition. The next morning, she DM'd me a selfie at the exact venue. It's so cute. I'm checking if they have next spring open. I stared at my screen until the coffee went cold. Then I typed, it's ours. And I added a smiley face that lied for me. Colors were next. I loved sage and ivory, with small hints of gold, quiet, soft, clean. I made a private Pinterest board. Kelsey wasn't on it. Still, 2 days later, she posted a public mood board. Sage, ivory, gold. Caption. My wedding vibe someday. She added a winky face. Like copying me was a joke we shared. Bridesmaids. Dresses. Shoes. When I said T-length, she said T-length. When I posted a photo of my shoes, she accidentally tagged the brand and wrote inspo. I asked her not to wear white to any of my events. She said, of course. With 8 exclamation points. Family noticed in whispers. My mom used her nice voice. She's just excited, honey. My aunt said. She's young. Which is what people say when they don't want to say. She's selfish. My cousin Riley called it what it was. She's performing your life. She texted me. Do you want me to say something? I told her no. I still wanted peace more than I wanted justice. Noah didn't push me, but he didn't pretend either. You don't have to keep shrinking to keep the room calm, he said one night. We were stuffing envelopes. His hands are careful. Mine were shaking the glue sticks. We can set lines. I nodded. Then I changed the subject. I was still trying to be the woman who makes family easy. When the engagement party invites went out, Kelsey posted a countdown not to my party. Just, big news coming soon. People commented hard eyes. She never corrected them. My stomach did that slow drop again, like I was always standing on a trapdoor. I tried to inoculate the night. I called my dad and said, please, keep your toast short. I told my mom, don't let anyone add speeches. I texted the family group. No surprises. My finger hovered over Kelsey's name. I typed, please don't wear white. I deleted it. I hoped. 2 days before the party she texted, what time should I arrive? Also, what flowers did you pick? Asking for inspo. I didn't answer. I watered the hydrangeas and told them they were safe. On the morning of, everything felt bright and clean. My mother ironed napkins like they were tiny promises. My dad practiced saying, to my girl, until he could do it without tears. Noah put his arm around my shoulders while I taped fairy lights to the fence. We're good, he said. No matter what she tries. I nodded. No matter what. Kelsey's car pulled up late, stereo loud. She stepped out in white. Not ivory. Not cream. White. She had the bouquet twin. She had my bracelet twin. She air-kissed me and said, twins. The way some people say, checkmate. If you've never had someone copy your life, here's the part people don't understand. It's not about stuff. It's about story. It's about someone reaching into your chest to grab the moment you waited for and saying, actually, this is mine too. She floated around the yard like a bride without a ceremony. She posed by my cake and pretended to laugh at a joke no one told. She stood too close to Noah and asked him if he liked her ring setting. In theory. She told my aunt she was thinking, sometime next year. In the exact season we picked. Riley found me by the lemonade. Want me to run interference? She asked. Her earrings looked like little swords. I laughed. Just keep me away from her for 10 minutes at a time. We built a human schedule around me, my mother, my dad, Noah, then Riley again like a relay race for sanity. And still, the moment arrived. Because it always does. My dad tapped his glass. Toast. Laughter. Tears. Noah tapped his. Promise. Calm. I stood to say, thank you. Kelsey stood, too. And the air changed. Attention has a sound when it moves. You can hear it drift across a crowd like wind through tall grass. Before Ava talks, she said, I have a quick announcement. Phones went up. Even the people who love you will record your humiliation before they stop it. That's not cruelty, it's culture. She said the line, I'm engaged, with the breathless smile of someone who trained for this moment. Tyler stood beside her, looking like a man who finally noticed the strings on his wrists. And there, before my question, before his exit, there was one more beat you should know. I looked for my mother and found her eyes. Moms do a thing with their mouths when they're afraid for you. They press their lips together to hold their words in your place. She did that. I shook my head once. It meant, I'm okay. It meant, let me. I turned back. I let my voice be small and easy. I didn't need volume. I needed precision. Where did he propose? Everything that followed the stutter, the dress fitting, the fog lifting off Tyler's face was just gravity doing its job once someone stopped holding up the lie. Afterward, when the yard exhaled, when she left, when Dad raised his glass the second time, when the music came back, I realized I wasn't angry anymore. I was done. Done is different. Angry wants to win. Done wants to be free. That difference is why the question wasn't revenge. It was release. Because no one had ever asked Tyler what he wanted. No one had ever asked me what I needed. And Kelsey had never asked anybody anything. She just took the loudest seat and called it love. That night gave me my voice back. But the days after would test whether I could keep it. What's the smallest line that still hurts when someone crosses it? Comment one word. The copying didn't break me. The party did. It started pretty. It didn't stay that way. Backyard parties lie to you. They smell like lemon cake and fresh cut grass and promise you an easy night. Fairy lights make everybody look kind. Music makes time walk instead of run. You start to believe nothing bad can happen under a sky that soft. My mother set the tables like prayers. Hydrangeas and low glass. Grandma's lace runner. Little name cards I wrote by hand. So every seat felt chosen. Not random. My dad checked the grill 3 times and pretended he didn't practice his toast. Riley flipped the switch on the string lights. They warmed up slow. Like dawn arriving on purpose. I went inside to try my dress on one more time. T-length. Pockets. A neckline that let me breathe. I pinned my hair myself because I wanted to feel like me. Not a picture. Noah stood in the doorway and just looked. He does that sometimes, like he's memorizing me for later. Are we ready? He asked. I smiled. We're ready. He kissed my forehead. No matter what she tries? No matter what she tries. I said back. It felt like a vow we made in a quiet language. Guests started landing like small birds. Co-workers first, careful and polite. Cousins next, loud and curious. My aunt and her husband, already laughing at nothing. Phones came out. The playlist worked. The yard turned into a room. Kelsey texted, "Running late. Save me a seat next to the cake, I want photos." Riley read it over my shoulder and whistled. "Girl." I pocketed my phone. "We're not feeding it." My mom squeezed my hand. "If she's difficult, I'll—" "No," I said gently. "Let me." Kelsey arrived like a scene change. Car door slammed, camera shutter sounds from her phone. White fabric catching the light like she rehearsed the angle. She hugged me without touching me. "Twins!" she sang. Then she held her bouquet up next to mine and took the photo she came for. Noah whispered, "Breathe." I did. In through the nose, out through the mouth, like the internet tells you when you don't want to cry in public. She began the tour. That's what it felt like. A guided walk through my own night. She posed with the cake, with the gift table, in front of the hydrangeas, touching every piece like it would belong to her if she named it out loud. She found Tyler near the fence and hooked his arm like he was a prop that matched the theme. My dad tapped his glass. The room settled. He started soft because he's not a performer. He's a man who loves his daughter and worries he'll cry when he says it into a microphone. He still cried. He told the dog parade story and called me stubborn like it was a compliment. He thanked Noah for being the kind of man who makes stubborn feel safe. It was perfect in the way small. True things are perfect, not loud, just right. Noah's turn. He doesn't give speeches. He talks like you're the only person in the room, even when you're not. He told everybody I burn rice and call it toasty on purpose. He said, "I have this way of turning a Tuesday into a holiday." He said when he knew not lightning, not fireworks, just a door he walked through and never wanted to close. He raised his glass toward me. "To my favorite ordinary day." I almost cried. The yard almost sighed. The night felt nailed into place. "Before Ava talks," Kelsey said, and pulled the nail out. You can hear a crowd's attention move. It's a sound. The music turns shy. The bugs get louder. People shift their weight. "Quick announcement!" She lifted her hand like a game show prize. The ring threw light at the fences. "I didn't want to steal attention," she said, smiling like attention owes her rent. "But I'm engaged." Phones, gasps. That one cousin who loves chaos cheered. My mother didn't move, which is how I knew she was terrified. Tyler stepped into frame, polite and late to his own story. He had that, "How did I get here?" look men wear when they realize they've been ushered through a door by somebody else's sprint. Kelsey launched into romance copy, sunset, fate, soulmates run in families. The words felt like confetti shot out of a cannon after the party already ended. I checked Noah's face. Calm, but tight around the eyes. I checked Riley. She shook her head once. "Do you want me to stop her?" I shook mine back. "No." The word felt heavy. It felt ready. Here's the thing about being copied. The worst part isn't the theft. It's the confusion you're forced to live in. Are you crazy? Are you petty? Is this normal? Shouldn't you be nicer? The lie keeps you busy second-guessing yourself. That's the magic trick. That's how they take the stage. I didn't want the stage. I wanted my night back. "Where did he propose?" I asked. I didn't project. I didn't perform. I just let the words be clean. It changed the weather. Even the string lights felt like they leaned in. Kelsey stalled. "Last night, it was—" "You were at my dress fitting last night," I said. "Not to trap. To anchor." Tyler looked at me the way people look at exits during fire drills, grateful they exist, shocked they might need them. "We talked about getting married," he offered. Palms up. Like honesty could catch itself before it hit the ground. He turned to Kelsey. Quiet. Kind. Done. He set his glass down so gently it sounded final. "I need to think." He nodded to me, the simplest apology I've ever received. Then he walked down the stone path past the hydrangeas that had been blooming for weeks. Past the table where people left gifts with our names on the tags. Past the story Kelsey tried to drag him into. Because mine was in the way. The yard exhaled. You could feel the temperature change. Kelsey's face went flat. Then fast. "You sabotaged me," she said, aiming the words like a dart she found on the ground. "No," I said, meeting her eyes because lies grow in lowered gazes. I asked a question. She left. Perfume and white and speed. That one cousin followed. Because some people love the sound of doors slamming. The rest stayed. Because some people love you. Dad re-raised his glass. Because dads who know you are hurting will rebuild a room with their voice if they have to. "To Ava and Noah," he said. Steadier now. "To a love that doesn't need a spotlight to be real." This time the cheer felt like protection. The music came back slow, like it wanted permission first. Noah kissed my hair and said, "You were brave." I said. I was finished. He smiled. "Same thing tonight." We cut cake. We danced a little. We opened cards with shaky hands in the kitchen when the guests were gone. I found the bouquet twin she brought and plucked one white ranunculus for our nightstand. Not a trophy. A reminder. Text messages started before midnight. I'm so sorry for clapping. She's done that to me in smaller ways and I never knew what to do. I'm proud of you. From Tyler. Thank you. No one ever asks me what I want. I lay in bed and felt something I hadn't felt in months. Not victory, not payback. Peace. The kind that isn't quiet because you swallowed the fight. The kind that's quiet because you finished it. But families don't end scenes when the music fades. They start new ones. The fallout was coming, and it wasn't going to text first. If someone wore white to your engagement party and made an announcement, what would you do? One line. Be honest. She stood up in white and took my night. I took it back with one sentence. People say time slows before an accident. It did. Not the whole night. Just the 20 seconds between her. I'm engaged. And my where did he propose? Those seconds stretched like they were trying to make room for a better choice. Kelsey filled the space with words. She always does. We knew right away, she said. It was fate. Last night was perfect sunset at the lake. There it was. The script. A lake we did not see. A sunset we did not get. A moment she wanted more than she wanted truth. Tyler looked at her like he was reading along and realized his book had different pages. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't need to. The room was hungry for clarity. Where did he propose? It wasn't a trap. It was a flashlight. The attention shifted not away from her, but through her. The lights felt brighter. The phone stopped moving. Even the hydrangeas seemed to listen. She blinked, smiled, faltered. Last night. It was. You were at my dress fitting last night, I said. I gave her the lifeline she didn't give me. A chance to step back into reality. She didn't take it. We talked about it after. She rushed. He's shy. He hates big gestures. Tyler, I said, turning the light to him soft, steady, human. What do you want? He swallowed. His eyes cleared. I think I want to slow down. Not dramatic, not cruel. Just honest. Kelsey's smile cracked. You told me. I told you I wasn't ready, he said. And the room heard the quiet kind of no that never gets posted but changes lives. He set his glass down carefully. Like if he dropped it the entire script would shatter too loud. I need to think, he said to her. To me, I'm sorry. To the yard. A bow of thanks for the exit it offered. He walked. A straight line through a crooked story. The air came back into people's lungs like they'd been underwater. Kelsey's face went flat. Then sharp. You did this, she said to me. She spit the words like seeds she didn't want to carry. You jealous, small. I didn't let her build the next lie. I asked a question. That was my moment. This is my party, I said. And for the first time all night, I felt the ground decide it was mine. She laughed a sound with no joy in it. You can't stand not being the center. I didn't smile. I can stand being the center when it's my night. She looked around for allies. Some people looked at their shoes. Some looked at me. Most looked at the door. Because shame is loud. You're all so fake, she announced to everyone and no one. Enjoy your little backyard fairy lights. She grabbed her purse, left her bouquet, and stormed out like the stage manager finally cut the lights. Silence. The stunned kind. Then the choosing kind. My dad was first. He lifted his glass, voice steady like a handrail. To Ava and Noah, he said. To a love that doesn't need a spotlight to be real. People followed him back into the room he was rebuilding. Glasses rose. Someone restarted the playlist. The night said, we're not done. Not like that. Noah's arm came around me. You okay? I am now, I said. And it surprised me how true it felt. We cut the cake. I fed him a bite that was mostly frosting. He made the face. Everybody laughed. The good kind of laugh. The kind that doesn't point at anyone. Riley slid next to me with two waters like they were secret flasks. I was ready to body block, she said. But that was cleaner. Clean beats loud, I said. Turns out. Guests came in twos and threes with quiet lines. Proud of you. Should have been said years ago. I clapped because I panicked. I'm sorry. I kept hearing the same tone in different words. Relief. My mother took my face in her hands the way she did when I was 5 and feverish. I wanted to protect you, she said. You did, I said. You let me do it myself. On the way to the kitchen, I picked up Kelsey's bouquet twins heavy with the effort of being exactly mine. I set them by the sink like items to return to a store. And though the party kept moving, though we danced a little and laughed a lot, the new scene had already started. The texts. The group chats. The family statements. The spin. It arrived before we finished washing the cake knife. First came the cousin who lives for drama. She said you ambushed her. She's posting a story. Then my aunt. She's crying to your MIL. Says you're mean. Then, because fate has a sense of timing, my phone buzzed with a message from Tyler. I'm sorry for the scene. Thank you for asking what no one asks me. I want to take things slow. That's all. I read it twice. Relief has a shape. It's the feeling of a weight you didn't know you were carrying falling off your ribcage. Noah read it over my shoulder and smiled that small, proud smile I love. You didn't blow anything up, he said. You just stopped holding it together. Still. The house was about to shake. You could feel the tremors in the group chat, the three dots from people who never text this late, the "we need to talk" from my mother-in-law, the screenshot Riley sent of Kelsey's story, a crying selfie, the caption, "Got sabotaged by family at my happiest moment." Riley followed with, "Do you want me to post?" "No." I texted back. "Let her post. We'll answer with actual life." That night, after the last guest left, I stood in the yard in bare feet. The fairy lights hummed. The hydrangeas looked like they knew something I didn't. I whispered the names of what I wanted to keep. Noah. Peace. The way my dad's voice steadies a room. The part of me that stayed calm when it counted. Noah wrapped me in his hoodie and the smell of smoke from the grill. "Ready for the aftershocks?" "Ready to stop apologizing for them," I said. Inside, I put one white ranunculus in a skinny vase by our bed. Not because it was hers. Because it wasn't. Because it was mine again. We slept like people who finished a job. We woke up like people who would have to start a new one. The morning was loud. Group chats. Missed calls. Half-truths doing laps. My mother-in-law's name on my screen. I answered. "Ava," she said, voice already frayed. "What did you do to your sister-in-law?" I took a breath. The kind I practiced. The kind that turns a fight into a fact. I asked her where he proposed. Silence that sounded like someone finally hearing the whole sentence. "And he left?" she asked. "He decided to think," I said. All I did was let the truth stand up. She sighed, not angry yet. Just exhausted by the idea that her family isn't the story she posts about it. "We're coming over." Of course they were. Aftershocks don't schedule. They just arrive. Noah touched my shoulder. "You want them here?" "Yes," I said. "I want this over. I want a line on the ground where there wasn't one." He nodded. "Then we draw it." Kelsey had written herself as the victim before sunrise. The family would arrive ready to rehearse her script. But I had the only prop that mattered. A single, honest question, and the room that watched it do exactly what truth does when you give it air. It stands. And it changes what falls. Was I right to ask the question right there in front of everyone, or should I have waited? Drop right there, or wait. The party ended. The line was drawn. Now came the hard part. Keeping it. My mother-in-law came alone first. No white dress. No stage voice. She held her mug with both hands like it might steady the words. "I thought you humiliated her," she said. "Then I saw the video. You didn't humiliate anyone. You stopped a runaway thing." I didn't gloat. I nodded. "I don't want battlefields. I want boundaries." She exhaled. "I'll back your terms. Not because you're right, because we need a family where truth doesn't have to yell." We hugged. Not long. Enough. Later that day, Tyler texted again. Told her I'm not ready. "I want to date you. Not a timeline." I sent back. "Thank you for saying the quiet part out loud." He replied with a single word. Relief. Relief is a quiet miracle. It doesn't trend. It restores. Kelsey's first repair attempt arrived as a group text. "Apologies if my announcement timing upset anyone." I was excited. The non-apology template. No responsibility. No names. I didn't respond in the group. I invited her to coffee. Public place. 2 chairs. No stage. She showed up 10 minutes late with an iced drink and sunglasses large enough to hide behind. "I'm not the villain," she said before sitting. "I'm not the audience," I said. "We're 2 people. Let's use that. There's a kind of silence you make on purpose, so the other person can hear themselves." I made it. She set her cup down. "Do you know what it's like to be the girl people look past? To be almost chosen? To be almost first?" The words weren't pretty. They were honest. "I know what it's like to be copied," I said. "It's not flattery. It's trespass." She fiddled with her straw. "You think I don't know that? I do. I just don't know what to be if I'm not impressive." "Try being true," I said. "It's quieter. It's better." She looked up. "Does he hate me?" "Tyler?" I shook my head. "He sounds tired." "Tired isn't hate. It's a chance." "A chance for what?" she asked. "To be someone who listens more than she announces." We were 2 women at a table with 2 futures in front of us. One where we stay in costume. One where we don't. "I'll respect your terms," she said eventually. "I won't wear white. I won't mirror your choices. I'll try not to make your moments mine." "Not try," I said gently. "Decide." She nodded. "The smallest, yes. But real." We tested it fast. The bridal shower invite went out. She texted, "What color should I wear?" "Anything but white," I replied. "Blush?" "Pretty." She sent a selfie from a store. "Not white. Not my dress. Not my bracelet. This okay?" "Yes," I said. "Thank you." A tiny repair. A brick in a wall that could hold. Noah and I kept planning like people who believed in ordinary joy. Menus, music, a seating chart that wouldn't start wars. He took the afternoon off to meet the florist because I wanted the hydrangeas to look like clouds again. He kept saying, "We're building a day, not a show." It's a line I plan to borrow forever. Tyler and I ran into each other at the bakery. He smiled the way shy people do, sincere, brief. "We're okay," he said. I told her I want slow. Slow is still moving, I said. He laughed. Thank God. My MIL invited me for tea, just us. She wiped at a clean counter and finally said, I keep thinking about how I raised them to be nice, and forgot to teach clear. You're teaching it now, I said. She nodded. You taught me first. The family group chat calmed. Fewer fire emojis. More recipe links. Kelsey posted less. When she posted, it looked like life, not PR coffee. A book. A sunset with no caption about fate. I didn't clap for the bare minimum. I did let myself feel lighter. At night, I read my note titled, Peace. 3 lines. My events are mine. No mirroring. Break the line. Lose access. It felt like a gate I opened and closed with intention. Not a wall I hid behind. There's a difference. A week out from the shower, Kelsey texted again. Do you want me to help set up? Yes, I wrote. Then, here's your slice. I sent a list. Balloons, napkins. The playlist I already made so she didn't have to improvise attention. She showed up early, wore blush, and asked where the tape was. We tied ribbons in the kitchen like 2 people who might be okay. During the shower, she stayed in her lane. When Aunt Switzerland asked for a few words, Kelsey glanced at me first. I nodded. She kept it short. I'm happy for you. I want to earn back trust. No violins, no monologues. Progress doesn't need crescendos. Afterward, she hugged me, not the kind for cameras. The kind with breath. I'm trying, she said. I can tell. I said back. Then I added the only invitation I could give without lying. Keep going. Peace isn't dramatic. It's repetitive. It's a choice you make on Tuesday and again on Thursday and again when somebody posts something slippery at midnight. It's not amnesia. It's a boundary with stamina. That night, I put a fresh white ranunculus in the small vase by our bed. Same flower, new meaning. Not a trophy. A practice. Can you forgive without forgetting? Right. Forgive plus boundary, if yes. Or, not yet, if you're still healing. They expected a showdown. We chose a ceremony. We didn't plan a perfect wedding. We planned a true one. Hydrangeas like clouds again. Sage and ivory again. My dad practiced his toast once, then hid the paper because he wanted to talk to me. Not the crowd. Kelsey arrived early in a soft blush dress, hair pinned back, empty hands ready to carry. She took the candles to the tables without taking pictures of herself doing it. Small thing. Huge thing. Thank you for inviting me, she said when we had a second alone. Thank you for coming like this, I said. We both knew what this meant. Guests sat. The aisle looked longer than it did in my head. Music found the right volume. I walked with my dad, who whispered, to my girl, because he's sentimental and doesn't pretend not to be. Noah's face at the end of the aisle made the rest of the room turn into background. We said the easy words the hard way fully. I promised to keep choosing the ordinary days. He promised to guard my peace like it was his own. We said, I do. We meant it. Rings. Kiss. A cheer that sounded like relief and joy braided together. At the reception, the toasts were short on purpose. Riley told a joke that made even Aunt Switzerland laugh out loud. My dad kept his line about dog parades. My Nil toasted clarity. She said, kindness without clarity is chaos. And people clinked their glasses like they'd learned something and wanted to keep it. Kelsey asked if she could say one line. She looked at me. I weighed the night in my hands. I nodded. One line. She stood, didn't take a mic, and said, I'm happy for you. I'm learning how to be family, not competition. Then she sat down. No hashtags. No, someday me too. Just one human sentence. It landed softly and stayed. Tyler came, alone. In a suit that fit. He congratulated us, and didn't mention the lake, or sunsets, or timelines. He told me he started therapy. He said he wanted to pick his life, not get drafted into one. I told him I was proud. He wasn't my responsibility. But I was relieved for him like he was a cousin I liked. We danced. We ate cake I didn't burn. We took photos that won't need captions to make them matter. I caught Noah looking at me like he did in the doorway on party night. Memorizing, grateful, present. At some point I found Kelsey at the edge of the dance floor. She was watching, hands still, face open. This is nice, she said. As if nice were a complicated word she was trying on for the first time. It is, I said. It can be like this. She tucked hair behind her ear. I thought big meant loved. Big can be loud, I said. Loved can be small and real. We weren't fixed. We were better. There's a difference. Better is sustainable. Fixed is a lie that cracks. Before the night ended, my dad tapped his glass one last time. Not to speak, but to point at the sky. Fireflies. The kind that show up without being asked, and light the air one blink at a time. I held Noah's hand under the table. We did it, I whispered. We did the right things on the boring days, he whispered back. That's how this happened. When we got home, the house felt like itself. Quiet, clean, true. I took the white ranunculus from the vase, and replaced it with a fresh one. Not a symbol of her. A symbol of me, of the version that asks one clear question when the room needs it. People will tell this story different ways. The sister-in-law in white, the ring, the man who walked, the family meeting, the terms, the blush dress at the wedding. All true. But my version is smaller and stronger. Someone kept trying to rewrite my life, and I stopped letting her hold the pen. Here's what I learned. Peace without respect isn't peace. Quiet isn't the same as kind. A single honest question can be a boundary with a voice. No doesn't need an exclamation point to work. Truth doesn't compete. It stands. After the wedding, life did its steady miracle. Groceries, Monday. A plant that didn't die. Kelsey texted pictures of her cooking mishaps instead of countdowns. This soup tastes like a candle, she wrote. I sent a laughing emoji and a recipe. She sent back a photo of toast that was actual toast, not rice. Will she never cross a line again? She's human. I'm human. The difference now is the line exists painted, bright, named. If someone steps on it, I don't have to give a speech. I can point. I can protect the quiet we built. The last thing I'll say is the first thing I should have believed. You don't keep your milestones by shouting. You keep them by letting truth take the seat with your name on it, and not giving it up for anybody. My sister-in-law hijacked my engagement party to announce her own. I asked her groom one question, he walked out. That was the night everyone finally saw who'd been stealing my milestones. It was also the night I took them back. If you stayed to the end, drop a for peace with boundaries, and comment the one sentence you'd say to protect your moment. Also, like and subscribe for more real stories where truth stands up and stays.